Hey,
Hey,
have you been
there
waiting
you
long?
are. No, I just came here.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's really busy here right now. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
but
lots of people
I
praying
thought
to
this
our
was
little
the
table.
perfect. Imagine you. That's stuff for a comedy manga where you look for the characters and then they sit there as if they were doing something on the donation box,
Yeah, yeah. We're
like
making
playing
so much
mahjong or
money.
something.
People are giving us so much just for being here.
That would be nice. Imagine being a streamer on the internet and people give you money just for being here.
Mm-hmm.
Surely somebody will eventually invent something that lets us do that.
Yeah. We won't
Anyways, we're
even have
not
to sell
here
those little
to.
paper things that they do at shrines.
Hmm? Oh, right. Have you done that before?
Yeah.
And what was your horoscope?
I don't remember. I can't read Japanese.
Have you done any horoscopes this year already?
No. Have you?
I got a bad horoscope for
Oh no.
people with the tiger zodiac.
What did it say? Just bad luck or anything
Relatively
specific?
the second worst of all the animals.
That's sad.
I can tell you
Tell me.
that your zodiac is wait, let me check. Tiger had a C in luck, a B in wealth, a D in romance, and a B in C B D romance, B career, D health. And yours is, well, let me check. B in everything except career, which is an A.
Oh, hooray!
Yeah.
Hooray for me.
You're pretty well off.
Yeah, with my my career, my non-existent second channel is really bumping right now.
Is that already a thing?
No, it will be.
It will be.
Anyway.
So, anyways, I am Maxi Hamburger, and this right here next to me is Percival Fine. We are doing the show Oretachi no Mangen wa koreからだ, which is short for this is Japanese for our podcast has only just begun, because that's what canceled series are ending on in Weekly Shonen Jump. We're talking about Weekly Shonen Jump every week. You're crunching your own neck in response to this revelation.
Just doing some stretches.
We're on issue number 6 and 7. This is the dreaded combined issue number 2 in the phase in January, when the authors always get like a phase where they can just relax a little bit more. And certain characters are more or less affected by this terrible phase when they can't reach Weekly Shonen Jump each week. Although this is not the topic of
it was
me
last
and Roboco
last
this
week that Roboco had that.
It's been so long ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago actually.
Show me the cover real quick of the jump,
cover.
so that we can jump right into it. Do you notice something, or do you know what I'm going to talk about right away?
What are you going to talk about?
These group covers are always a method to gauge which one the editorial department thinks is the most popular series.
Better. Yeah. Further back means worse.
Yeah, Luffy, it has always been in the middle, the biggest, because One Piece is,
of course,
the powerhouse, the horse that carries
all of the load in the back.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
Unless if somebody who's really popular started, like an author who's extremely popular started right off, I don't think their series would be depicted this small.
Didn't you say the author of Cipher Academy is very popular already?
Only the author, not the artist. So that's why that doesn't count. And also, he's kind of like an acquired taste. So if you are a light novel reader and an anime enthusiast, maybe, but not in the Jump environment.
I see.
That doesn't make Nishio Ishin material for a bigger spot on the cover.
Yeah.
Also, I think Medaka Box didn't do as well as you would expect from the pedigree.
Oh, I've never.
But you can see that
something.
Luffy is number 1, and Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia are taking the spots of Naruto and Bleach, respectively.
Yeah. Green Naruto taking Naruto's spot.
This kind of makes me feel sad. This isn't the future that I envisioned to live in our year of the Lord, 2023.
You don't think Green Naruto is a worthy successor of the name and spot?
No. Jujutsu Kaisen, neither.
We should put Okotsu, the real main character, in there instead of Itadori.
I think eventually Sakamoto Days will replace one of these, but right now, those are relegated to the mid category of
both Sakamoto. No, not Sakamoto. Both Jujutsu Kaisen and Macadamia are like they're coming to the end pretty soon, right?
Relatively, yeah.
It seems like it. I mean, I know that we have been talking about how One Piece is in its final arc, but it doesn't
still going to take 5 years.
It doesn't feel as soon. Yeah, like I could envision My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen ending within the next 2 years. I feel like One Piece still has like 5 or so years in it.
At least 5. 7 sounds more realistic. But yeah, we will need something to replace those.
Yeah. And Sakamoto is right there. So is, I guess not as much, but Nico's there. Witch Watch is good.
Well, don't you think Witch Watch might end also within that time frame?
I guess so.
Its days are maybe numbered, but I don't want to think about that too hard. I wanna make like put X's on the series that are probably ending before One Piece ends. Undead Unluck, Mashle, Akane-Banashi. Do you think it's going to last longer than One Piece?
No.
Okay, going to cross that off as well. Roboco might as well survive relatively long.
Yeah, it's a gag series. It can go on as long as it wants.
Highschool Family is time limited because eventually the characters will graduate.
Yeah.
Time is moving forward in this high school comedy. Even though it's not it's supposed to be a comedy,
time.
It's not really comedy. It's not real time, but it's not a comedy either, as far as I am concerned. It's more of a absurdist drama. There's hardly any jokes in there. Yeah, people without taste.
Yeah, absurdity. It's so funny. Anyway, let's look at the color pages.
Right.
One Piece. Look at all of them.
Still with the
Luffy is so symmetrical here. Look at him.
Oh yeah. I wonder if you do the symmetrical mirroring meme, if he becomes Doom or Moon. Dude or Moon. Sorry.
Woo or if he.
Either way, we're. The one side that doesn't have the scar on his eye
versus the double scar one.
Yeah, damaged.
Oh, the one with no scar will also have 2 rows of buttons. The one with the scar won't
way
have
more
any
powerful.
buttons on his shirt. Yeah, he can connect to so many different things with all those buttons.
Of note is that we're still in the phase where Oda needs to push
Uta
One
must
Piece
be in everything.
Red.
Yeah,
she must be in everything. And have you seen
except for the manga?
Have you seen some of the anime material that they've made specifically to cater to people wanting to have her as their wife?
No,
like the Christmas thing, where she's cute and falling really close to the camera, like Merry Christmas. I'm so cute.
I have not seen that one. No,
I have to show you.
Okay. Do you need to get picture right now?
No, we can just move on. We can discuss the chapter at hand, which is number 1071. The hero
wow,
deploys.
There's so many. Yeah, who's the hero? Kuma?
Kuma. Because this is the chapter where Kuma reaches Redport at the base of Marijua. Then also CP0 manages to get into Punk Records, and they attack the Thousand Sunny, but Zoro defends the ship. Then Dr. Vegapunk gets a mysterious figure to help them escape. But then Bonnie starts chasing him again. And then, Bonnie. Meanwhile, Yusa's kid and his crew arrive at Elbaf, the island of the giants. And then also, meanwhile, is that Garp sets sail to attack Blackbeard to free Kobe.
Yes.
So many things are happening.
Retrieval arc begin.
Yeah. Did you know that there is a organization within the Marines that's called SWORD that has, for instance, Corby and Helmeppo are part of it, and Diaz Drake is also part of it.
They're like secret agents.
They're kind of like a faction within the Marines who are trying to make the system better, apparently.
Okay, well, that would fit with working with Garp.
Yes, and I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I did.
Somehow I've always missed it.
Either. Yeah, I always assumed it's just like, oh, some of the Marines are more willing to go with their own sense of justice, even if it doesn't fit orders, than others, and that's the ones who will help the good guys.
Yeah. So considering that it's something of a own organization within itself, then it kind of makes sense that Garp would be like, yeah, I'm just going to do this right now, even though it's almost guaranteed suicide because Blackbeard is just so powerful right now. On the other hand, we still haven't seen what Garp is capable of.
No, I've seen some of it. He's really good.
He's really good, but
yeah.
How good is he? Is he good enough?
Yeah, because you also wonder if because he's also very old, and One Piece definitely does take that into account with stuff like when the admirals or Whitebeard have fought, then people always talk about like, they're getting old,
right?
Even though they're still like super powerful.
Let's see. Oh, right. This page right here is you can skip that. I just copy pasted that because
all the Vegapunks are here.
Because Lilith is in here, so that's why I saved it. Next one as well.
Just like Sanji for real.
Yeah, disregard that. I just need to save the pictures of the pretty ladies. This page right here. This is what I wanted to talk about. This is where nobody seems to be taking the situation seriously.
Yeah, enough. I was surprised specifically at Luffy because it's like you just fought Rob Lucci. Like
the main villain
you should know that there's no time to relax right now. But he's like, oh man, I want to relax.
At the very least, if he wants to relax, he should have fought them for real and dealt with the threat once and for all.
In order to get rid of the threat so he can relax better.
And you know what? They could have done that while they still had control over the Seraphims. And this would also save them from the Seraphims in the future when they have to fight them, because the Seraphims are going to be trouble as long as CP0 has control over them.
For sure.
So while they had all of the cards on their side, they had the Seraphims, the whole crew was there.
Yep.
CP0 was just 3 dudes that they have already fought in the past, and Luffy seems to be way more powerful than awakened Rob Lucci even. Because that would imply that Rob Lucci could have killed Kaido on his own. And even though he doesn't consider Luffy to be an emperor right now, which is fair, but
he knows he's strong.
And we could have. Rob Lucci is one of the worst people in the One Piece world because he's willing to just do anything the celestial dragons tell him to.
Yeah.
And they tell him to do reprehensible shit. So he needs to go. And Luffy just letting him sit there. Why would you do that? Why would you do that when you have weapons on your side that could potentially destroy an island?
Yeah, it's like so weird that he seems to be saying, I want to relax. Although you could possibly read it as instead of him being just like totally oblivious, like I don't care that CP0 is here, you could read it as I wanted to stay and fight instead of run away. Because then we could
maybe, but that's
that would make more sense. I'm gonna read it that way because it makes sense to my mind. The thing that didn't make sense to me in this part though is that all the Vegapunks are like, we gotta get off this island. We need to get off the island. But didn't original Vegapunk state before that he offloaded a majority of his brain into Punk Records and that all his clones are remote controlled from that? So it's like if they just run away and then CP0 just pulls the plug on Punk Records, do all the other Vegapunks just die?
Who knows? Who knows how that works?
Yeah, it seems slightly pointless to run away and be like, we gotta escape this island. Oh, by the way, a large chunk of my brain is stuck on this island and it's too big to take away.
That makes it even worse than what I thought. But
what were you thinking?
The more we talk about it, like the clearer it gets that they should have defended Egghead
they should have planned to stand
trying
and
to
fight.
bail.
Yeah, they probably will end up staying and fight.
No, they probably will try to escape.
Think? I think they're going to try to escape, but they won't be able to. They'll be forced into battle.
No, this is definitely we're going to escape, and it's going to be one hair's breadth because the Marines are closing in, and we just have to make it extra exciting because right now it might not be as exciting while Luffy is super powerful and everybody's afraid of him.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to up the ante by...
Do you think we're going to figure that out next week, or do you think it's going to...
Still going to take longer?
No, I mean, do you think it'll stick with Luffy's crew, or do you think next chapter is going to switch to Kid or Garp's crews?
It's going to stick with Egghead.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
I want to see more of Garp's crew going to fight Blackbeard.
If only, but I think that's
it's not just that it's interesting that they're going into enemy territory, but also that they're bringing Doll with them, right?
Don't show that. I saved that for myself as well.
For later. No.
Yes.
But I wanted to point it out that hopefully she and the headphone girl, what's her face, are going to go with them.
One other thing that I find way more interesting is who did Vegapunk call to get help?
Yeah, that's a good question. Was it directly to Kuma, do you think? Do you think he has a direct line to Kuma and that's why he started moving?
No, because Kuma started moving earlier than that.
Well, maybe that was a flash forward.
No, I don't think so. Also, Kuma is in Marijoa, so that's way somewhere else.
He's taking the scenic route.
He's going to attack the city, probably. And that's going to cause some more problems on the marine side, and then that's probably going to leave them the opportunity
you said that maybe the hero
escape.
deploys refers to Kuma? Did you say that?
You mean, yeah.
No, I don't think that it refers to Kuma. I think the hero deploys refers to Garp at the end. Because his nickname was the hero of the Marines.
Alright, that's true.
And
that's right.
He's deploying. He's grabbing up a bunch of the young bucks to help him get Kobe back.
Right, that's true. I wasn't thinking. You're right.
Because everyone's afraid of Kuma right now.
Yes, he's not
a hero to them at all. They're like, he lost his mind. He's a slave to the celestial dragons. We gotta run away.
Yep, you're right. I wasn't thinking. Anyway, I I would have to downgrade this chapter now that I'm thinking about it way more, because the way things are going, the escape plan, that's dumb. That's counter to everything that has been going on. I was going to give it 68 points, but right
you can't now.
I would say it's more of a. Let me check with the other ratings. 65.
Yeah, it's not quite nice.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Oh, I do have something that's nice, but that's for later.
All right, going on. What's next? Did you read Sakamoto Days this week?
Yes, Sakamoto Days was my favorite this week, I think.
Our prophecies did not come true. But I like this chapter. It opens with a flashback to young
that was so relatable.
Yeah.
Young Kanaguri.
Have you been there before?
No, I haven't been everywhere in Italy.
He goes to Italy and sees the mouth of truth. And it's like, I like this more in black and white because he knows it from Roman Holiday. And I know
you
it
can
from
tell
JoJo.
Which movie it is. You can really tell.
Yeah, I think it's literally a posterized screenshot of the movie.
Yes.
But yeah, you remember this thing in JoJo?
No. What was it?
That was in JoJo. They used the mouth of truth as the door to get into the secret passageway under Rome, where the Pillar Men are hidden. Yeah, that's where Awaken My Masters takes place. Is under this thing.
I was so blinded by Vento Audio that I.
You forgot they'd been to Italy before, so much longer before, in years past.
Yeah, good times. So this whole chapter is just the fight between Sakamoto and Kanaguri, and they're now in an auditorium hall with pipe organ for whatever reason. And
I think it's one of those old school places where they would do the music live for theater, I think.
I suppose, even though they shouldn't have any. They don't have a reason to have that in the JAA, the assassins school, because like why would you need a pipe organ?
Maybe if there's like some assassin who's practicing to kill someone in a cathedral. They need to get good at playing the organ to pretend to be the organist, and then they get you.
I don't know. Either way, Kanaguri is fighting with a laser, even though he says it's not a laser, and that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's just a really good stage light.
And I don't understand. He picks that stage light up, right?
Are you going back to saying that he has a stand?
If only because he didn't bring the stage light with him, right?
Yeah.
That's not something that he had in a pocket.
No,
somewhere. He only got that from the auditorium hall, and then Sakamoto asks him like, "What is this? A laser?" And he's like, "No, don't be ridiculous. This is not a laser. It's just a very strong light." And then clearly,
it's like cutting things apart. When it hits Sakamoto, it burns his clothes. It's like, that's a laser.
What's the point of doing whatever?
To make us think that Kanaguri has a stand.
Yeah, if only. Kanaguri argues that the entire world only exists for cinema, and that Sakamoto's era the Sakamoto days. His era is over, but then Sakamoto overwhelms him with sheer technique and power.
They had some pretty cool lines there. When Kanaguri says everything is for cinema, even the deaths of our loved ones. At that point, remember, we'd predicted last week that he was going to die sitting down in one of the seats and be like,
that would have been cool.
To be in the audience. Then at this point, I thought like, this. I was reminded of Goodbye Eri, the guy filming his mother's death scene for his movie, and I was like, what if it ends instead with the theater exploding and Sakamoto walking away from it?
That would have been also funny, but that would have been too much of a call out. Like, here, this is a reference to something that I enjoyed also recently.
But I really liked Sakamoto's line when he tells Kanaguri, a heartless person's work can never touch anyone's heart.
Yeah.
Sakamoto does not believe in death of the author.
And then he says, "Hasta la vista, baby."
Yeah.
And Kanaguri's like,
do like movies after all. I love it, because before we were like, Sakamoto, you idiot. Why are you saying you don't like movies? Oh, maybe it's just to piss off Kanaguri. I think it's true. He's just saying it to piss him off. He does like movies. Now he's more relatable once more.
And maybe he just didn't want to say he's a
cinemaphile.
Cinemaphile?
Is it cinemaphile or cinephile? Maybe just cinephile.
Cinephile.
Yeah, it's for people who are unusually
people who say
sexually attracted to cinema. Also, when the lasers are going all over the place, and Kanaguri is like, "This is just like entrapment." I was like, "Is he gonna do the sexy laser dodging dance from that movie?" But he doesn't.
If only. Maybe they'll save this for the anime, because this is again one of those chapters.
That'll be the end credit dance sequence. Is Kanaguri doing the the laser dodging dance from Entrapment?
Damn, that would be so good. I doubt it, but I want it.
Where's that animation AI that we can type that into? Great for us.
Maybe just a few more years, but eventually, and then it's all over for you guys.
Yeah. One thing I thought about this sequence, where the light is falling on them and their shadows are projected onto the stage. I was like, one thing that would have made it a little bit cooler, but also might not have made as much sense to readers who are like children who don't know about it, is if the hole that was busted in the wall was just like a tiny pinhole, and it did a camera oscura and it projected them like upside down. Have you seen that before?
I do know what you're talking about, but I don't think that would make for a good scene.
I think it would have been cool. This is fine though. I like this.
This is good. I like it. This is going to do very well in the anime. People are going,
it'll be great.
This is so good.
Yeah.
So that's why I gave it 75 points.
Yeah, it was really good action chapter, where despite most of it just being guys hitting each other, they exchange some good one-liners.
Yeah.
Just like a movie character would.
What's next? Jujutsu Kaisen is next.
Yeah, what happened in Jujutsu Kaisen?
Jujutsu Kaisen, this is the chapter number 209.
Yeah, the
U.S. military enters.
Finally show up.
Yeah, they enter the Culling Game domes and start capturing sorcerers. Even though a bunch of them are also killed by cursed spirits, which is all in all, that's just used as one of Kenjaku's failsafe plans in order to increase the cursed energy inside the domes.
It turns out that it was all just a trick. He baited all these guys to come in, and one of the things he was hoping for was that they would get killed and release cursed energy. Which, once again, I think it's mentioned in this chapter. Somebody talks about how cursed energy and cursed sorcery is a Japan-specific thing and doesn't exist outside of Japan. So why would you bring in all these people from outside?
Yeah.
And Kenjaku is like, oh, well, it's a special case. Even non-sorcerers who have no connection to cursed energy will generate a lot if they die in horrible enough ways, basically.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I was kind of expecting at this point that he was just going to say, oh yeah, the whole thing about cursed energy and jujutsu sorcery only existing in Japan was a lie. Because I watched Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and there's a guy in that movie called Miguel, and he shows up in the manga later, and they're like, oh, what's Okatsu been up to while he's been gone for so much of the manga? And it says, oh, he's been with Miguel in Africa. They've been hunting down a rope made of cursed energy that can be used to make like really special cursed energy tools.
Weird how it ended up in Africa.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, if Jujutsu sorcery is only a Japanese thing, how come there's like this legendary tool in Africa? And it also says that Miguel grew up in Africa. It's like, and this guy who grew up in Africa is like an extremely competent Jujutsu sorcerer. I feel like it's a lie that it only exists in Japan. But they don't say that here.
I have two arguments. One is if Jujutsu energy and sorcery was a thing outside of Japan, that world, the Jujutsu Kaisen world, is structured in a way that the president of the United States would know about it.
You'd think, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And also the Chinese and the Russians and whoever he met with, those people would definitely know.
They would already be like, yeah, the president would have been like, oh, we have our own version of that. We don't call it Jujutsu sorcery, but we know of it.
Yes.
In fact, we have this whole base that studies it. And a few years ago, a bunch of guys tried Naruto run to it, so we kicked them out.
Still, my biggest disappointment with the Trump presidency is that he didn't say what's in
he
Area
didn't join
51.
in Naruto running. I think he's too fat to do that.
So yeah, the people would know about that. And argument number two is that Gege Akutami probably doesn't want to make the story into, like, the whole series would turn into Shaman King, and that would be such a grand vision that he would that would be as if that would be just like when Togashi was like, by the way, there is a whole new world outside. And he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's also the reason why Horikoshi isn't doing that in My Hero Academia, and only
even
being
though
like,
it doesn't make sense. I don't like that they're not doing it like that. Yeah.
Some people are just so small-minded that they're like, I don't
local only.
Yeah.
The rest of the world doesn't exist.
But you are completely correct that it should exist, and that our headcanon is better than what we see in the series itself.
Akutami's actual stuff.
Yeah. Also, this page is really cool.
Oh yeah.
This page is so scary.
I feel like it's become a thing in horror stuff recently to have soldiers facing off with the weird ghosts and monsters and aliens and stuff.
Really?
I feel like I've seen it in a bunch of other stuff too, maybe in some video games. Because it's like, oh, here's some people who in real life would be like, you know, tough guys who don't afraid of anything. But then, oh, here's something that can just easily kill them.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good in a way.
Using
like
the most powerful
thing.
Using the most powerful person in the world as a jobber just to say how much stronger X or Y is probably, that makes sense. That the logic does check out.
And I think maybe in more recent thing, it's because modern soldiers are so technologically based, like they have so much equipment that when it's just like, it also kind of sets up the technology versus the unknown sort of thing. It's like science fighting things that we can't understand.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to say something about the previous page, which is we didn't even mention how Kenjaku and I don't even know who that other person is, but
it's just one of his followers. He meets with some of his followers. I think they're the people who had been following him since before he was Kenjaku, when he was just regular ghetto.
Either way, this person kind of questioning, like, oh, I thought this the fact that the soldiers can just go in as long as they like click on approve on the terms of service when the little worm thing appears.
Didn't even read it.
And it was like, oh, I thought there was some kind of bug. And Kenjaku is so like, oh man, he's so bummed out about that thing, even though he planned for it being called a bug.
Yeah.
But that ties into what I wanted to criticize, which is we had several chapters of Kenjaku meeting with the presidents of all of the countries in the world.
Yes.
And giving us this glimpse of there is a world outside of Japan that's complicated and multifaceted.
And they're just learning about cursed energy.
Yes, and all of that is now, with this chapter, reduced to like, I had to explain why the culling game is creating enough cursed energy, even though I'm only showing like 5 characters per dome.
Yeah.
Like, because some people will go through the story and be like, oh, I calculated the points of everybody in colony. And
so many people are fighting off screen.
Yeah, and how do we not see all of these characters? And the answer is, there weren't that many sorcerers in the colonies, but we still need to up the number of cursed energy in these domes to like logically say like, yes, Kenjaku has reached his goal. And these whole chapters that characterized what's going on outside of Japan seems to be just to explain the plot hole that there weren't enough characters introduced in order to explain how Kenjaku's plan works.
It doesn't turn out to be like some separate aspect of the plan. It's purely, I need to increase the amount of cursed energy. So I'll bait some normies into here too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he could have done that in a different way, but he did it this way, and this is a little bit blue balling.
There's a big pile of gold inside each of the things. Go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit disappointed, but what I'm not disappointed by is the final thing that's happening, which is that Itadori and Fushiguro's group getting surprised by the soldiers, and they still have the comedian guy with them, and he can dodge bullets because he thinks it would be funny to do it with that Russian dance.
Yeah.
Because his magic is, if he thinks it would be funny, he can do it.
He thinks everything is funny. So he's so strong because he's easy at laughing. What do you call that when someone laughs easily? When someone gets drunk easily, you call it a cheap date.
That might be a word in Japanese comedy culture because they are so advanced in their manzai technology, which you would know if you read Shoha Shoten, which is a big recommendation from us to you.
I need to catch up with that. I haven't read it for a while. It doesn't come out every week, so I forget.
If you read it now in one go, that would be probably better than what I did, which is reading it every week. And the most recent chapters, I think there were like 2 months between each other.
Yeah.
And it stopped on a flashback that explains why one character says, I killed that dude. And you were always like,
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and the flashback now explains how the other dude died and how this guy is being made responsible for it. And I was like, wait, isn't the fat guy, isn't that the same guy from the flashback? Because if that's true, then he's not, he didn't used to be fat and a glutton. He's now, this guy I'm talking about, he's now completely, his whole personality is basically Cartman. He's mean
just like
and he loves eating. And in the past, that wasn't the case, so I didn't make the connection that these are two of the, like, these two are the same character. Anyways, this chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen was okay.
It was okay.
I gave it 55 points, and maybe you disagree?
Yeah, I think it was all right. I did think that it was a bit goofy the way that the soldiers encounter Itadori and friends, where it's like they actually get surprised from behind, and the soldiers throw a stun grenade, and Itadori kicks it back to them, and I'm like,
he doesn't afraid of anything.
Yeah, well, like it's kind of weird that that's his first move to do. Is he notices something flying at him, he just kicks it. He doesn't even know what it is because it's coming from behind him. And also, we'd seen before that the in the same chapter, the soldiers used stun grenades on people who were like sitting down, but Itadori and friends were already like running towards something. Yeah. So you think that they would probably open with the stun guns instead, something that's, you know, that doesn't rely on surprising someone. You just shoot them with the stun gun. Whatever. It's fine.
I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a little bit weird. Oh, also, I had hoped that instead of being surprised like that, they would have seen them first without being engaged by them. Because have you played Half-Life?
Nope.
Okay, well, in that game, I'm gonna spoil this 20-some-year-old game for everyone here.
No.
I think it came out the same year that Chainsaw Man takes place.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so the game is about being a scientist during an alien invasion of the base, the science base. And there's a part where a bunch of soldiers show up, and the other scientists are like, "Oh, you're here to save us, thank you." And then they just start killing everyone because they're actually there just to erase the existence of the base. And not just kill aliens, but kill all the people who are working there too.
Do they already know that people can get infected by the head crab thing?
I don't know.
At that
maybe.
Point?
I'm not sure.
Because that would make sense to kill all the scientists.
Yeah, but only the ones who have head crabs on them. Head crabs aren't like aliens in that they can burrow inside you. They only control you if they're literally on your head.
I see.
Yeah, but that would have been a nice little moment in Jujutsu Kaisen, but it didn't happen.
What's next?
Roboco. Hunter x Hunter.
Haha, funny. If only. This is the chapter in which, on Roboco's suggestion, the boys play hyakunin isshu under the false impression that it's a memory game, but also it's one of those New Year's Eve traditions that are maybe New Year's Day traditions that it's the chapter starts with Bondo going, well, I want to do something that's
New Year's
that's traditional for this day, but also I'm kind of sick of flying a kite, which is one of those things. The chapter cover for the Elusive Samurai also has one of those games. It's not the same, but it's similar. And game, I forgot what it's named, but I also don't really care about it. So I don't know, like
just some card thing. Yeah.
And actually, maybe it is the same. Either way, sometimes in very rare animes and mangas, you see that because maybe the author ran out of ideas, and I thought this was another of those like, it has to be Roboco centered, and it has to be one of those. Roboco is just like fishing for compliments all of the time.
But it's not Roboco centered.
Yes, because then the chapter switches from the memory game to them having intense mind games.
Yeah.
They all play along under the false impression that Roboco would award the winner a rare jump prize that even I didn't know existed.
And I think the author is like, I want someone to send this to me.
He did say that not even he himself was able to get it. So that's why
someone who got it, send it to him.
It kind of looks like it doesn't look like a good product.
That's just his art style.
No, I think like it really just looks like they made slippers and stitched something on that you can probably make yourself.
Yeah,
just relatively easily.
Print out a picture of Kua and put it on your $10 Amazon slippers.
So that's why I'm a little like, I wouldn't fight for this, but everybody loves these apparently. They were limited edition.
Yeah.
And even Gorilla and Matsuo want them. So that's why they start this really intense battle.
That's such a fierce competition.
All of them have this like
special ability. I love it. Yeah.
I love it too.
Matsuo can see certain phrases in different colors, so you can recognize them so fast. And Gorilla has the feel of it. And then,
did you have that yourself? Like how some numbers feel like they would be different color?
No. Do you have that?
I don't have it for all colors, but I can clearly tell that some numbers must be certain that some numbers must be a certain color.
Interesting. Yeah, there's some sort of...
Just feels right.
Some connection was made there. Have you seen that test where they show the names of different colors to you? But sometimes it'll be a different color than what the word says. It's so confusing.
This is bad.
Yeah. But Bondo
is just expanding the ability that we already knew, which is that as long as it was a manga, he can remember it. So if he's
looking at the table as if it's one of those unfinished Hunter x Hunter pages.
Yeah, so in his mind, he has to add the dialogue balloons, and then it becomes a manga, and then he can memorize all of them, and that's how he won. And then the big revelation at the end is that
they don't even get the slippers.
Those were just Roboco's own goods.
Yeah,
that was for herself, but the big prize was autographs of Roboco. Which you should be. If you do anything with Roboco, you should expect.
Yes, you should expect that she's not really going to give you a prize. It's going to be a Roboco prize.
Yeah.
I
gave the chapter 67 points because at first I was like, but then I noticed turning into something that I actually like.
Yeah.
So the first half was painful, and then it was worth it.
Mm-hmm. Good. Speaking of painful,
Boku no Hero Academia.
Yeah, the school. Goodbye, Hero Academia.
This is the chapter in which Kurogiri teleports more of Toga's twices into the UA fortress. So Aizawa and Monoma's erasure gets interrupted, allowing Shigaraki to use his quirk and shed All for One's control somehow. And the Liberation Front's Hacker Man is also taking over the UA.
He literally is like, I'm in.
But then La Brava, who used to be Gentle's sidekick, like the short stack girl whose power it is to make you stronger if she loves you or something. I forgot what exactly it is. Then she gets reintroduced as part of the big plan, as some kind of ass pull, I would say.
Yeah. It's have any of the other characters done anything with computers? This girl has. She can counter the Hacker Man.
She was on YouTube once. That means she's that's the same logic that my parents use. Like you use a computer, you can do X and Y. And I'm like, no, I'm not a programmer.
That's funny.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Did you notice that this
chapter? We have to study deeply.
If only. I think the extent of my learning capabilities is learning how to do 3D modeling.
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say about noticing in this chapter?
Did you notice that this chapter again had only 11 pages?
So little.
Is this a thing now? I mean, I'm not against it. I'm totally on board with mangas having shorter chapters if it helps the author to get through his week.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this a thing or
I think it's a thing. It's becoming a thing.
Is it just because Horikoshi has health problems, or is he like American comics also only have 11 pages, so I have to do this?
I don't know, because if it was just the health problems thing, then I would expect he would be more likely to be like, oh, no chapter this week, I'm taking a break, rather than I'm doing shorter chapters.
I haven't seen him comment on it in the author comments, but I'm not following him on Twitter, so maybe he said it there.
I don't know. Yeah. I didn't really have a lot of thoughts about this. Oh, you did? Okay. Tell me.
One more thing I want to say is that I really dislike how, like, everything that could go wrong is going wrong.
Yeah.
You
gotta put the heroes into their low point, so it's more exciting when they make their return and win.
I've just almost completed Stone Ocean on Netflix, and that made me realize there's so many moments where the villain himself is at a really low point and
happens
driven into a corner. And I like that so much more when the villain himself can fuck up and like gets into a bad spot and then somehow overcomes it, but not enough to like turn the tides completely.
Right.
But right now in My Hero Academia, this was also a problem when they were attacking the facility where Shigaraki was being turned into All for One. Then with the giant dude, what's his name?
Yeah, Gigantomachia.
Gigantomachia. Like all of that was... all of the cards were so stacked against the heroes that it didn't feel good following it, because it was always just one more bit to punch them down, and no progress was made. Every time you think, they made something, they did something here, and somebody sacrificed himself to at least get one more step closer, it always gets undone, but not just undone, but it gets worse. Right now, I don't see any way how they can win without extreme ass pulls.
Yeah.
And that's something you shouldn't do. As soon as you have to introduce completely unprepared ass pulls, that's bad for your story.
Also, since this La Brava showing up and being able to counter the hacker guy, it's already kind of like out of left field. But also, it's like, how much is that actually going to help them? Because it's just, it doesn't put them into a better position than they were before. It just puts them back to the same position they began in. Because the hacker is like, oh, I'm going to open up all those doors and everyone is going to be in danger, so the heroes will have to deal with that as well. So it's like he's going to put them into a really bad situation. But then if that gets countered, it basically just cancels it out. It doesn't actually improve the situation of the heroes to anything better than before.
The only good thing about the chapter is that La Brava showed up again. Because I liked
little
her.
Potato?
I liked her, and I really liked Gentle. That was such an inconsequential...
It seems pointless to have them separated, doesn't it?
Yeah. But, I mean, he was a good villain, I would say. And it was so nice
villain.
that...
He's like an anti-villain,
It was so nice to have somebody who's not big villain, who's threatening the whole society again. Just one dude doing his stupid shenanigans.
Yeah.
And he might ruin the school festival. But in a way that's not destroying society.
Exactly. That's what you need in between the world destroying arcs. Is an arc where you try to save the school festival.
We rarely had that. It was always, we're going to destroy UA. This guy was just trying to mess with them.
Yeah, he wasn't going to kill them all. Anyway,
wait, I got it. No, 48.
Ouch, not nice. Yeah, hopefully they'll show us some more interesting stuff, but not just BS on how to get out of this.
From here on out, it's just going to be ass pulls all the way down.
Yeah, because like also now for such a long time they were building up Shigaraki as being the new vessel for All for One, and now they have this weird thing where he's like kind of breaking away from him.
Glorping out of himself.
Yeah, which looks really gross.
Disgusting.
I guess I'll give them a bonus for that, because I mean you want the main villain to be very, very evil looking as well.
I suppose.
I was reminded by someone on Twitter of earlier when Deku sees the mental image of the lonely crying little boy Shigaraki, and it's like, when I looked at you, I saw someone who needs saving. Even though it's like at this point, it's like he needs saving from himself, because he's becoming the villain and he's done all these evil things already. It's like, it's not like he's just some kid who's being manipulated by All For One. Like he's into a lot of this stuff.
You know what? Boku no Hero Academia can be saved if they merge their most recent collaboration, which was collabing with Fortnite.
Yeah.
And Deku gets a gun. He just shoots Shigaraki.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's why they should put us in charge of everything. By the way, the Deku Smash was really good in the game. Did you
play around
with that? Yeah. Only there for like 2 weeks.
Wow, it's so short.
Yeah, it might come back, but it was really good. I loved that.
Yeah.
It was funny, but here's something that's not funny, which is Blue Box.
Oh, it's not funny this week?
No, it's even worse than My Hero Academia.
Oh no.
I'll go through it real quick. This is the chapter 84, How That Made Her Feel, which is about last week, Yumeka showed up at the end of the date where Chinatsu Senpai and Taiki were on that Shibuya Sky observation deck. And Chinatsu Senpai remains steadfast after her run with Yumeka, but then Taiki keeps wondering about it and gets Haru Senpai to explain to him that Yumeka used to be Chinatsu's rival in motivation. And then the chapter ends on Taiki having to go to the dentist where Yumeka just happens to work as a receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
coincidences.
There are so many things that piss me off. First of all, this chapter explains how Chinatsu and Yumeka used to be exactly the same relationship as Tsubasa and Nakajima from the Ichinose family's Deadly Sins.
Are they going to play garbage basketball?
If only. Because they are just a rehash of that relationship. There's no other way around it. This almost feels like the author is literally copying the other author's homework, because it's also been enough time between those that it might align. And then on this page, you see that the super plain NPC-looking boyfriend.
Yeah.
By the way, he's weirdly plain. Like he doesn't look good. He looks like a hot girl. Like Yumeka wouldn't date this nerd, right? And he's the one
must be really funny.
Hopefully, he's the one who defuses the situation. And it sucks how little we get to see of him, even though he seems to be the key figure to the whole constellation. Yumeka stopped basketball one day and just went to a different school. And now she's like acting all high and mighty as if wasting your youth on sports is dumb.
It's bad.
And you could just do normal things like dating, and the guy she dates is this wet blanket.
Yeah.
Then I had some ludonarrative dissonance.
How so?
On this page still, because Yumeka is drawn with these squinty eyes, right?
Yeah.
And apparently Taiki sees her giving him like a glare. And it's drawn literally the same way as she always looks. And I'm supposed to, I don't know, discern from this one panel that Taiki saw something different in how she
in her eyes.
Yeah, and even though that's how she looks. Gets even worse when you think about this as if it was in real life. If somebody was just looking like this, I would be like, that's how they normally. That's not
maybe Taiki is just misinterpreting it as a sensitive.
No, because Taiki is always right. That's a problem. He's always right in this stupid piece of shit manga, and him having like this zoom in slow-mo opportunity to see that she's giving him like the stink eye.
The normal eye for her.
And the normal eye for her is that's throwing me out of the immersion. Then next page, it still shows that Chinatsu Senpai and Taiki are just leaving normally, going home together. And then they're on the train. And this is one of those moments that's supposed, like, it's exactly like Save the
help
Cat.
Out the pregnant woman.
Yes, a pregnant woman comes into the subway, and both of them are immediately getting up to offer her their seat.
They're such polite children.
Yes, look how good they are and how much they deserve each other, because both of them are morally virtuous and nice.
Yeah.
But it's drawn in a way as if they, like, just looking at the bottom panel, you don't see them getting up. You don't only see them being like, oh, a pregnant woman. And I mean, those lines on the left and right are supposed to show movement, but you literally can't tell. So it really just looks like they recognize somebody they know.
Yeah.
And just to show that they offered their seat because they're so nice. I feel like this is... It's not doing it for me. This is emotional manipulation of the reader.
Wait, wasn't it her that was carrying the old lady?
She did it, and then he did it.
Yeah, so they already kind of did that.
Just remind her how good they are.
Yeah,
it's just emotional manipulation. A way better way to do this would be in Roboco, where Roboco. Oh no. In Roboco, where she watches Bondo being nice to somebody in dialogue form. And then noticing, oh, and this is my new master. This is just Save the Cat.
Yeah.
This is
only for the benefit of us, the audience.
Yeah.
It isn't something that would show the reactions of the other characters, which would have been more interesting.
Gets worse.
Yeah. Oh, really? What's worse?
The fact that Taiki has to go to the dentist because he wakes up and he's like, oh, I have a toothache. And his mom's like, go to the dentist maybe. And then he goes to the dentist. And then he goes to the dentist and sees that the receptionist is Yumika. And this is the worst, because I hate how they introduce new characters. Like, oh, this could be somebody who's important later on and important to the constellation of all the multiple chess pieces on the board. But instead of leaving it as a mystery maybe, or fleshing it out in a natural way, it's always like, and then I had to go there, and then suddenly the person was there, and then I had to deal with that person in a different situation.
Yeah,
it's so mundane. It's almost
too much reliance on coincidence
and mundanity, because this is how I used to, when I was in grade school, this is how I used to do creative writing, where I was like, okay, so in TV, you normally don't see the people doing mundane things like eating something from the refrigerator and going to the toilet. So that's why I have to include that in my stories to be subversive and novel. So I was like, and then you went to the supermarket because he wanted to eat yogurt. And then he bought a yogurt, and then he ate the yogurt. And while he was eating the yogurt, he was thinking, this yogurt. And this is as if Taiki was trying to eat yogurt, and then eventually he sees Yumika in the supermarket. Yeah. Here's how you do it way better. You have to make it that Taiki thinks about how Yumika was the motivation for Chinatsu Senpai for her basketball career, right? Because she wanted to be as good as her, so that she respects her, right?
Right.
That makes him, during his training, overexert himself, and he strains a muscle or something. Then somebody says, you might have to go to the chiropractor or something, because this is serious enough. And then he goes there where the receptionist is Yumika, or even better, Yumika is a chiropractor in training.
Yeah.
That's how you connected more
Instead
naturally.
of just being this complete random, like, oh, by the way.
It's completely random. Stupid baby child gets a cavity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Why would you, in the first place? Taiki is so upstanding and like
yeah, you'd think he'd brush his teeth.
He would brush his teeth 3 times per day. So why is he having a cavity? This doesn't make any sense other than I want the situation where he has to deal with
he has
somebody.
To meet a receptionist. Yeah. It's too bad.
That's the chapter. I gave it 42 points. This is even worse than My Hero Academia.
Okay. When you were saying that it was cribbing off of Ichinose family, it's like at least they don't make it so that the girl who is becoming standoffish is actually having a side job. Is having that kind of side job where she's going to hotels with some dude who gives her rabbits.
If only that would also explain. See, that would explain why she has this glasses boyfriend.
Yeah, and why she's always looking at people like that. And she's like, they have such normal lives. They don't know what I have to do.
At least if you copy Ichinose family's homework, do it right. Don't just like change it enough that it's different enough.
Mm-hmm.
Just copy everything that's good, not just a few bits.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, next time.
Onto something that's a little bit better.
Just a little bit.
Actually, a whole lot better.
It had its moments that were good, but it also had its moments that were like, this is dumb.
Fabricant 100.
There it is. Yeah, chapter 5.
Yeah, ignorance. Luca brings Ashibi and number 100 to the anti-fabricant organization Mortsafe, where he tricks 100 to reveal in her own words that they could have ended all fabricants already by killing number 1, but that she needs number 1 as part of her pact with Ashibi. And then in the end, Ashibi asks to join Mortsafe together with number 100 in order to learn more while maintaining his pact.
Yeah.
And this first page here.
The existence of Mortsafe.
Yes.
I disagree with.
I also disagree wholehearted with it because this is so by the numbers shonen.
It is. The only thing that would make it more by the numbers if there's some big-eared old guy with a long beard at the center of it.
I mean, he still could.
There could be, yeah.
He might as well. He doesn't have to be an old guy with a long beard. He might be somebody who's extremely ill and needs several attendants. And
exactly.
The top of his head is already like wrinkly and scarred and stuff.
Yes, might as well be that. But then it doesn't make sense in here. It makes more sense in other stuff. Because in this, they state, or Luca at least states, that Ashibi will like living at Mortsafe base because there's lots of other people who are just like him. And I'm like, if there's lots of other people who are just like Ashibi, who was from a family that got massacred by fabricants to take their special body parts, and fabricants are attracted to the smell of people with special flesh, isn't having all of them in one big building just like, isn't that just gonna bait all the fabricants towards them? And
exactly.
It would, so like that sort of thing would make sense if it was more obviously defended instead of just having a wall. It's like there's no guards. There's no. I mean, what would you describe the tech level of their world? It's like
that's late
post-industrial, I'd say. Yeah, it's industrialized because we've seen trains and stuff.
Cars even.
Yeah, that's right. Luca was so good at driving the car and using his teleportation ability with it. So
also, I would say the bonnet that number 100 wears that's like late 19th century fashion.
Really, I would have said more of like early,
maybe early
1800s.
Maybe early.
But yeah, either way, this place doesn't look like it's got any cannons or guns. It just has one, I guess two. It's got 2 rows of lights on a single street. You think that if they're like, we're all gonna live here, and we know that a lot of us probably have special smelling flesh that the Fabricants would want to take, that we'd want to like defend it super good. They don't even have barbed wire along their wall.
If we're already complaining about this place, like the design of this place,
so dumb.
Why is the path to the front door winding?
It's so curvy. It's the fun path. We've seen that city skyline meme where someone built two bridges. One is perfectly straight and one is like all twisty and curvy. And they're like, how come all my citizens want to get in a traffic jam on the straight bridge instead of driving on the fun bridge?
I haven't seen that, but I want to see it.
These guys only made the fun path. They didn't make an efficient path at all.
I'll accept this explanation.
Yeah.
This is
so the existence of Mortsafe is really dumb, but then there is a cool part, which is Luca's plan and how he talks with not how he talks, but how Fabricant 100 talks to him when he's separated them.
I was going to say that as well, but I want to say one more thing about the existence of Mortsafe. I'm not done with that. The existence of Mortsafe seems really out of place because Fabricants, to me, seem like they were maybe created in the last maximum 2 years.
Not that long.
They are relatively new. They aren't super old. With Kimetsu no Yaiba, it makes sense because
Muzan has been around for hundreds of years.
For so many years, so he had chances to make so many vampires.
Yeah, and lots of subordinates of his.
So that's why it makes sense for like this really small organization of people who hunt those vampires. But Mortsafe?
Yeah.
Trying to hunt the Frankensteins?
Yeah, who's funding this? What do they eat? I guess they have a garden in this picture.
There's so many people in this thing already. This is way more than the Demon Slayer corpse in.
Yeah, it is.
Corps in.
I think also Luca's gamble. One problem with it is that he brings 100 straight into here. But it also sounds like he was saying that a lot of people living there are just civilians who, like, their families got killed, and they're like, we want to keep safe. So it's not like, a bunch of hardcore fighters who would be able to take on a Fabricant.
Wait, this gets worse.
Yeah,
this gets worse because you would, if you want to have this series running for a long time, you will need wait a second, why is the moon? Damn it! Look at the moon.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Why is this?
It's one of those what do you call it, like
Tim
Soul
Burton
Eater,
moon.
Messed up moon.
Why are there stars inside the shadow of the moon?
It's not a shadow. That's just the shape of it. A Fabricant ate a chunk of the moon.
No, wait. That would imply that either there's a hole so straight through straight through the moon that we can see exactly these two stars, or there are holes in the earth which cast the shadow on the moon.
Or there's airplanes in this world, and that's just an airplane.
Just happens.
Yeah.
Just happens to be in front of the moon. Yeah.
Yeah. Coincidentally.
So if you want to follow the regular shonen, what's it called? Not aggravation.
Structure.
Escalation.
Oh yeah.
Of enemies. You would need Fabricants that are kind of like the generals and the lower and upper moons in Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Yeah.
So those would be dudes who would basically look at Mortsafe and be like, this is bait. They have all of these deliciously smelling people in there, but if I go in there, I will
the people with the superior smell that Fabricants crave.
Yes, but that goes against what was established in the first chapter, where they're
mindless when they get that boy smell. They're like, I need his flesh.
they wouldn't be able to resist it. So this thing, it kind of excludes the existence of those kind of general characters, enemies.
I hope they just retcon that. Just retcon it. Yeah. Pretend that line didn't happen.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Anyways, on to the thing that actually was cool, which is number 100 being actually creepy.
Yeah. This is when Luca gets Ashibi
really good.
and 100 in different rooms. And then just straight up asks 100.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah. It becomes so scary. It's like, oh, was everything we've seen of her before just an act to please Ashibi, including when she looked nervous at what Luca said? Was that also an act? Because she's so creepy here. Look at the smile.
It's so good.
Barely see it.
Technically, this could still be a little bit more creepy, but this is already really good.
Yeah, I think this is as far as it could go in this art style. But,
yeah.
It's
By the way,
a good page.
Still would.
With or without the bonnet. Bonnet stay on or bonnet not on?
Would be better without. We've seen her without. Without is better.
Yeah. Bow on or bow off? The bow is an integral part of her character design.
Bow on.
Yeah. Anyway, I feel like Ashibi, I think he seems a bit overconfident in 100's abilities compared to all the people in Mortsafe. And it's like the choice that they give him at the end is you can either split away from 100 and help us kill number 1 and then live a normal life for 100 years because you can live a long time. Or you can stay with 100 and have to go through a ton of fights because how many did they say there's still left? There's 70 some or 80 some they're still out there.
80 something.
Yeah, 80 some other Fabricants. You have to go through fights with all of those, and then also you'll die in 4 years because 100 will get your body before she kills number 1.
Right. And wait, what's the problem?
He chooses I'll stay with 100.
Oh, it's because
and hope that she kills everyone.
I think it's because he wants to he made the promise, and he doesn't want to go back on his word.
Okay.
And also, if they kill number 1, that only means that all of the other Fabricants will kind of become aimless, but they won't immediately all disintegrate. No, you killed the main one.
Yeah,
they will still be around.
Mothership rules. Yeah.
I think he wants to do it the thorough way of dealing with every single Fabricant one after another. Especially because he knows they can't make new ones, so it's not the kind of threat as with vampires, with Muzan, where he can just make new ones.
When we were talking about number 1, learn the ways of the Doctor, I was expecting they were going to say, and he can make new Fabricants.
Nah,
they don't do that.
Because then that would be number 101.
Yeah.
You can't do that. She has to maintain the number 100 to be the super special one. Anyways,
overall, what do you think of this? Had some really dumb pages, but some pretty good pages too. 100.
Something we didn't mention is that this scene where she acts completely inhuman was likened to an animal that gets into your house and is just raiding your food.
You just have to be nice
specifically.
To it. Doesn't turn against you.
It's not attacking you yet, but it could, and you don't know when it's going to do that and why it would do that. So that was a really interesting comparison.
If you've heard stories about bears, that is very scary because bears are hardcore.
Not to me. I could beat a bear.
Sure you could.
I'll defeat a bear. The bear doesn't. Animals don't know what a dropkick is. That's the thing. They wouldn't know that an attack is coming or like how it's coming. They just think like, oh, it's coming, but I wouldn't know
would
how.
It be? I don't think that would work. I'll let you try it out if we ever see a bear over here at the New Year's shrine.
Okay. I like this chapter. All in all, 74 points.
Nice.
Good chapter.
Not as nice as Sakamoto, but nicer than a lot of things.
Barely.
Yeah.
Sakamoto was 75. This is 74.
Yeah. Going on. Akane-Banashi.
Fuck this. Fuck this.
Time for more learning.
Worst chapter. 0 points.
So bad.
It's extremely bad.
Yeah, so this
is pissing
is the
me
chapter
off
where,
in
like,
particular.
Urara, I thought she was going to like teach Akane, but
no,
instead she's just like, nah, we're gonna meet 2 more times and just get good.
By that time, you have to have it figured out.
Yeah.
So since Master Urara is not telling Akane outright how to perform the Oiran story, Akane tries out different things and finally goes on a date with her childhood bully Jumbo to get a feeling for acting like a flirt. And this is pushing all of the buttons for me that make me like that.
Even Jumbo is pissed off at it.
Even he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So first of all, Master Urara picked the story for Akane specifically.
Like to screw with her.
Just to screw with her.
Why would you do that? Be like, oh, I know that you can't do the story properly.
She knew that in advance,
Yeah. Get good.
Then somehow the phone rings as if they were in a real karaoke place, even though this is her home.
Yeah.
Right? Normally the phone would ring, there would be like, your time is up, you have to leave now. And then you leave, and then the cleaning people would come and remove all of the stuff you were leaving behind, which is probably extra gross because I've seen some things.
All the drunkards. Yeah.
Oh no! Wait, not the stuff that you were thinking of, but I wish I had seen those things as well. I've seen worse things, and
you don't want to be the guy who wipes the loads off the walls.
No.
Anyway, Akane.
I had to think about it. I really hate it when somebody is not doing the Mr. Miyagi lesson of like teaching you stuff, and then you're like, "No, why are you teaching me this stuff wrong?"
Seem like it doesn't matter, but actually, it's part of the lesson. But this isn't it. This is just nothing.
This is just do it. Oh, you can't do it correctly? Well, sucks to be you. You still have to figure it out yourself. Yeah. That's what I hate. Then Akane in this panel here, where she's like, I don't want to just be any old Rakugoka. I want to be a Shinichi to the Arakawa school. And that's almost jumping the shark. This is almost like she's betraying her original motivation. And I mean, her original motivation is to show Master Isshu up.
Yeah.
She wants to beat him.
Doesn't require to be within his same school.
Exactly. And also, this tells us nothing when we still don't have a grasp on what this school in particular is all about.
We've never actually been shown a performance from any of the masters.
Exactly. We don't know what their deal is. If they have a special style that makes her want to only be able to do this style, then we might have something to talk about. But this school is so all over the place. We do know that this one of her senpai is being like the academic. He's always reading up the old origins of stories,
giving people some education at the beginning of a show.
And we do know that Isshu Arakawa is very traditional oriented.
Yes,
because he would kill you on stage.
But also very modern PR oriented.
But the fact that they call it progressive, the school, is betraying what we know about Issho. So
about his performance style. Yeah.
What is the deal? We don't know what the deal is. And her saying, I want to become a master of this school, when we don't know what this school is all about, is so much less impactful than her being, I want to be the greatest Rakugoka in order to show Issho Arakawa that he's wrong.
Yeah.
The normal Shonen Jump protagonist would have to say, I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Exactly.
This panel
I don't care
alone.
About titles, I just want to be number one.
Yeah. I think this panel alone is destroying a lot of goodwill I had for the series. One more thing. The next thing, where she's deciding to go on a date with any male character she knows already in order to figure out what a prostitute would do.
Yes. Because I think we mentioned last week that we thought maybe she would try to get like a job in a hostess bar or something.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
that would have made sense.
It would have made so much more sense because that's much more of a direct comparison than going on a regular date.
Yeah, not just that, because Master Urara herself used to be a hostess.
Yeah, that's right. That was her origin story. Yeah, so it would have made so much sense if she was like, "Oh, I'll try to get a job as a hostess," because also she's graduated from high school now, so it's legal. And,
yes,
but instead, it's like the author is like, "Oh, we want to create some romance in the story," which also could have happened if she did that. Because imagine a plotline where she gets a job at a hostess bar and she's like, "Oh, I'm only going to do this to like get an idea of how women in this kind of profession would talk to guys to get them to like them in order to be a better performer on stage." And then maybe like, one of the male characters gets taken there by his teammates or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have some random meeting such as that. I don't know. But it's just this very direct thing. And then the fact that the guy she's asking out, like, he hates it.
He hates
Look
it.
At
I
his
hate
face.
it.
He's like, "Oh my god, this girl's never gonna let me see the penguins."
The situation of going on a date in order to figure out how a prostitute from almost medieval times did things doesn't that mean she's going to like do the thing with him?
She has to seduce him all the way. That's why he's wary about it. Like
he doesn't want to give it up.
Yeah.
Mainly
she's after me.
I hate bully redemption. This guy used to be her bully. This guy needs to die.
That's why he's afraid.
Issho Arakawa should shoot his eye lasers. Only.
She's gonna take him on a date to Issho Arakawa's performance, and then be like, "I'm gonna go to the restroom," and leave him there specifically at the moment when Issho does his domain expansion and kills everyone.
I mean, she wouldn't be allowed to watch it anyway because it was established that she's not allowed.
Rules, yeah.
So that's why that's perfect. That's the only thing I would allow from now on.
Yeah,
the juxtaposition of Jumbo being the one she picks because he's the only male character she can think of, and all of the others being like, "Nah, no, not this one either." With Aise, that would have been so perfect.
It would have, yeah.
That would have been the perfect match because not only
look at him, he's into it. You're talking about yeah.
He's a flirt himself.
Yeah.
She could copy him. And he's already flirting with her. So like there's already a basis for her to be like, maybe I want to go get with him, or maybe I want to make him think that I want to go with him.
Right.
Jumbo has like almost no reason to expect this.
Exactly. He's like,
my
friend from school who I haven't seen for a few months.
suddenly wants to bang.
And then suddenly, yeah. Like, there's got to be something else to this. This must be revenge for all the times I bullied her.
Anyway, 0 points.
Hopefully it'll be funny at least next week when they have their date, maybe.
I have my doubts, but I'm like, since I'm already at 0, can only go up from here.
Yeah. It's another instance where it's like they really missed out on expanding her high school life in previous chapters.
Yes.
Like, being so focused on her Rakugo study, because since they didn't do that, this is the only male character who's not in Rakugo who people will remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Missed opportunity. Anyway. Going on.
What's next?
Ichinose Family's Deadly Sins. So,
this is better. This is way better.
Yeah, this is what Akane should have been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is chapter 8, Tsubasa's Sprint.
I'll summarize it real quick. Even though Tsubasa doesn't understand that Shiori is going on compensated dates, he wants to make it clear that he cares about her as some kind of apology for disturbing her privacy. So he runs after her when she's about to have sex with her sugar daddy and blurts out his own age.
Yeah.
That is the summary. And I think one main issue about this arc is that the author is probably not able to outright say compensated dating. Because this is a shonen magazine.
Yeah.
And that just adds to the whole situation. Some people complain about it by saying it's a just talk situation where they don't say outright what the issue is. She's just like saying, you don't understand it, get out of my room. And he's like, no, but I care about you and I don't think you should do this.
I think it makes sense.
Because she can't say it's compensated dating. That is the main issue. If she said that she was able to say that in this censored medium.
I mean, even without saying those words, I feel like in
Tsubasa
their situation, he wouldn't understand it, and also she is not going to be willing to say it out loud that bluntly. Because she's
probably still pisses me off a little bit,
just a little bit.
On the next page, we're skipping past the part where the dad is maybe shows you should tell her how much you care about her. This page here, where she's on a new date with the dude, I forgot his name, Mr. Shuta.
Yeah.
On this page, you see multiple people with couples.
Yeah.
And you see
all of in the background. They're in the hotel district.
It all says hotel. This is the Love Hotel district, yeah. So this is where people go to have sex.
Yeah.
So you know exactly that this
to learn. This is where Akane should have gone to learn how people are seductive.
Tsubasa says he's in class 2-1 in junior high on the next thing. And since he's the big brother, that means she is at maximum 13, maybe 12.
Yeah. So
and that's
definitely like Mr. Shuda. This is not legal.
His plea for please don't do it. I care about my sister. That's completely meaningless. Him saying, "I'm 14.
I'm a junior high schooler.
I'm 14. I'm the older brother." That's what's going to do it.
Yeah,
and all of the people around it are already looking at it like
what's going on here?
What's a child doing here?
Yeah.
With Shiori, people had it's hard to gauge how old somebody is, right?
Well,
with a small boy, that's hard. With a small girl,
he's there in his uniform. Because I think when Shiori goes on her dates, she kind of dresses up differently. maybe is wearing heels, so might
a
not
little
be
bit harder to
as,
tell.
quite as recognizable as just a kid. But Tsubasa is like very clearly like, oh, this is the school kid. Yeah,
there are women that look like small girls.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the people around here should be a little bit more suspicious of Shiori too, but I'm saying
it's understandable if they weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now they are.
Now they are going like, isn't this a 12-year-old child?
Yeah, how do you
with that
stop
adult man in the district where you go to have sex?
With the guy? Yeah. You announce your age to him and say, "That's my little sister."
He probably didn't know how old she was, right?
Mm-hmm. Let's assume that.
He was like, I thought she was 14. You tricked me.
You hussy. No, get out.
He's going to say he thought she was 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's going to ruin her whole business, and then she has to explain that this was her making money, and every rabbit in her room was representative of one date coming to fruition.
I thought when Tsubasa did talk to their dad, I was like, he seems very uncurious about what his daughter is up to.
That's true. Tsubasa never mentioned it. He never mentioned why he was so worried about her.
Yes, and then later she goes out, and the dad is just like, "Oh, she went for a walk." It's like, it makes me wonder, like, what the parents' deal is going to be when it gets to them.
She just went out for a walk dressed like a hooker.
I know, and they don't care. The parents are just like, "Okay, she went for a walk." Yeah, they seem very out of it, because like at first when I was reading, it was like, oh, the dad is pretty supportive of Tsubasa, trying to help him out. I'm like, also seems like he's not paying attention to the kids at all.
He's an idiot. Yeah, he's oblivious at best. But
yeah,
well, who knows what their deal is? We'll get
find
explained.
Out. I'm sure we'll find out. Yeah, maybe
it's going to be really interesting to go back and be like, oh, since that was going on with him, that's why he doesn't really like. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is a surprisingly well-written series, I'd say.
Yeah, that's the Takobi.
Well, when you said Takobi, then all I remember is I read the first chapter, and then you told me, "Nah, don't read more Takobi. It's very depressing." So it's like,
it's very depressing, and it doesn't end where you think it would end, but it really it gets really realistic.
I was worried that this series would just be very depressing. But like, so far, it's like it's got all these very heavy events and themes, but like usually has a wholesome ending to it.
If this was published in any other way than Shonen Jump, it would go to the dark places.
Thank you, Shonen Jump, for making this a lighter-hearted take on those.
I imagine he was like in a meeting with his editor, and he was like, "So yeah, I had this idea for a family who all lose their memories, and then all of them have secret dark secrets that come out, and all of them are really dark and depressing." And his editor was like, "Could you please not? can you make it wholesome?" And he's like, "Fine." And then he delivers this, and it's still gold.
It's better. Yeah. So how did you rate this one? You give number?
This one is 69.
Ooh, nice. Something Mr. Shuta is not getting tonight.
Yes, unfortunately. Incidentally, on that number, no
is that the chapter
other
number for the next manga? No,
impure thoughts. Yes, this chapter of Black Clover.
Black Clover 347.
This was lame.
Yeah, you didn't like it? There's flashback times. You don't like flashback
times? This is the chapter in which summoned Boogeyman, which takes the shape of your biggest fear.
The Boggart from Harry Potter.
Is it Boggart or Boogeyman?
Well, it's Boogeyman in this, but in Harry Potter they call it a Boggart.
I felt like it was also called Boogeyman in Harry Potter.
No,
because this is straight up stolen from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
This is literally a thing from Harry Potter.
Yeah. It's like this attack is just a framing device to get to Ichigo's backstory.
Yes, because it explains that her biggest fear is her dad, and that unlocks her memory of. It makes her remember that she's the one who slaughtered her whole clan. The thing that she always
measure her abilities. Literally.
And then Lucius Paladins also take the upper hand again and just beat everybody. But then Asta joins the fight, and then we are supposed to think that he's going to do something good, even though he's weaker than all of them.
I liked the little flashback with the twist. I did not like the ending where the paladins are like, "Oh yeah, we could just resurrect dragon. Yeah, that's something we could do really easily." And then Asta appears, and it's like kind of like, "Oh, the hero's here. He's gonna help them. They're gonna win now." And I'm like, he was not done training. Like 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, the other two guys who were training with him were like, "Oh yeah, you still suck at this." And now he's here. He's gonna save the day, even though he's like still not really good at using the new abilities.
Exactly. That's something that I put on my complaints list.
Yeah.
Because it's flip-flopping, it's wasteful. First it starts off showing that the paladins can summon monsters and have other cool abilities. Then the samurais show up and are like, actually, we're really, really strong. Let us show you how strong we are. Yes. Then the paladins go like, actually, I think we should be a little bit stronger, so we can we just delete you immediately.
Yeah.
And now Asta shows up and he's supposed to be like saving the day. So this is why would you
trained Asta
go back and forth?
If this were like a bit more time between Asta starting to train
makes sense
and the paladins showing up, then I'd be like, "Oh, it's okay." But the fact that he's like kind of still like beginner level compared to the Ryuzan 7, and then they're like, "Oh, now he's gonna save everyone." That's kind of dumb.
Bad.
Yeah.
Not good.
But I do like the resolution of the Yami clan backstory.
It was creative, but I also have to say, why is it so anticlimactically introduced as like this only pops up because one of the henchmen did a little sideshow trick for no reason.
Yeah.
I can accept that this is his power, but they are in the middle of one bigger fight, and he's just pulling that out as like one of the items he had in his pocket.
Yeah, it's just a quick and easy way to get this nice little flashback there. The author thought up of this interesting twist for the flashback, but then could not think of how to work it into the story naturally. It's just like
that's why it gets explained.
Summon something to give her that flashback. Flashback.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
And I still I thought that the thing in Harry Potter is also called a boogeyman, which would mean that because boogeyman is something else in English. It doesn't mean that it's a creature that takes on the shape of your biggest fear.
Could just
so
be
I was
some scary
I was under the impression that the author read Harry Potter, went like, "Oh, I guess that's what a boogeyman is," and that's from Western, not mythology, but like it's a cultural thing. Yeah. So I guess I can make a creature just like that, and everybody will accept it because that's the standard way of depicting a boogeyman. And no, that's literally how it is. The creature is in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's the specific thing from Harry Potter.
It's not named exactly that in Harry Potter.
That only weakens my argument a little bit. It still makes me feel like you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
This could be a regular thing that happens in the story, but just pulling it out as a narrative device is, I don't know. I expected it to be introduced differently.
To the Harry Potter wiki, Boogeyman and Boggart are actually two different kinds of magical creatures in Harry Potter.
I see.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to play Hogwarts Legacy to find out more.
Do the goblin genocide that people are talking about.
Oh, can't wait. Stupid fake goblins.
What a game. What a world we live in. Anyway.
It was tech capitalism, so it must be a good game.
Cipher
I gave
Academy.
this chapter...
Oh,
no, wait, I have to say. 45 minutes. 45 points for Black Clover. Lame.
Yeah, there was some... I liked some pages of it, but there was... It ended on a very stupid note.
Yeah.
Next.
So, Cipher Academy.
Puzzle time. Did you solve this puzzle?
No.
No, me neither.
It was very complicated.
Yeah.
And
they do exactly the thing that you predicted with the overlapping.
But it was so much effort that no normal person would have been able to do it, especially because part of the solution was only introduced in this chapter, where you have to overlay it with other people's puzzles in order to get the only few letters that would remain. And I just gave up on this because the font, all of these symbols, is so hard to read. That's my anti. That's my kryptonite. I was at least able to follow through, and I imagine it would be hard for other people because they don't speak Japanese.
Yeah. Was there anything you liked in this chapter?
Just that they were able to, solve the puzzle.
I like the part where Katsuri points out that the princess girl is giving everyone a chance to shine, instead of just like when she's talking through the solution, she'll point to each member of the team and be like, okay, you tell me how can we do this? And I'm like, oh, that's a sign good leader. Of capable leadership as well as puzzle solving.
Yeah,
being someone who can identify the skills of the other people in your group.
That was nice.
And then the ending, when Kogoe says, "I'm gonna let you stop a real war." It's like, how?
War between factions of pupils, maybe.
Happen. Nah, I think she literally means a real war.
Let's see how that plays out in the next chapter.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about it?
66 points was okay.
Yeah.
Fine. It was fine even, but it's hard to comment on it when it's just a step-by-step through the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of reading this series, like looking at the puzzle solving in the same way that I look at like magic battles and other things. It's like, oh, what they're doing is incomprehensible to me, but I can tell when someone
incomprehensible. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Going on. Got
more
card games. Yeah.
See, this is the kind of card game where they do have
pictures instead of just words.
Pictures and letters on it, and you have to pick the right card. I forgot if this is actually what's it called? Isshu.
We will never play it. It doesn't matter.
Hyakunin issue.
Yeah.
I forgot if it's really that or not.
Yeah.
But they're essentially the same, I would say. So just so you know,
and also
people play this.
Unlike Roboco, the card game in Elusive Samurai is completely unconnected to the actual story. It's just for the cover, just for cover funsies. Yeah, because the actual story is just a debate between Tadayoshi and Tokiyuki.
You remember the author said he wants all of the color pages to be kind of like a calendar that you can arrange to, like, for each season a fitting picture.
Right.
And this is fitting for January. Yeah. So this chapter is, I can summarize it.
It's titled Debate, and it's where Tadayoshi tells Tokiyuki that facts don't care about his feelings. And Tokiyuki like turns it around by saying, "Enough talk, have at you."
Basically, yeah. He basically rebukes Tadayoshi's argument from last week with the same argument that I made, which is, that even though if you're logically, like factually correct, everybody thinks you're a villain, and that makes you wrong. So I was right. I can summarize the whole argument. The way I
think that pretty much covers it.
Kind of covers it, yeah.
Yeah.
I did like that he got his own epithet, like all of the other villains.
Yes.
As being the demon of X.
Yeah.
He's the golden demon.
Gold demon.
And also was kind of a nice touch that Tokiyuki gets up on his horse and stands, which then puts him in a higher position than Tadayoshi, because that is how you in cinema show that somebody's
he's
gaining the upper hand.
He's metaphorically and physically taking the higher ground. Yes.
And then the way he rebukes the argument as, I'm a child, this is disgusting, and nobody who has feelings would agree with you, and I'm appealing to all of the feelings of everybody involved.
Yeah, this is a classical thing with debating. Is a lot of people then, they follow their instincts on this sort of stuff, where you can be very logical, but if you forget about people's moral intuitions, then everyone will still be against you. They're like, I don't know why, but this guy just seems wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fine. 64 points.
Good job, Tokiyuki. But there's still that group of soldiers who are like flanking them. So even winning the argument doesn't mean you're going to win the battle.
Well, not yet, but Tadayoshi is outnumbered, and he doesn't have that many cool guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Tokiyuki has a lot of cool guys. That will surely bring victory to the Hojo. But we can move on to Witch Watch.
Witch Watch.
Which is also, it doesn't really take that long this week. This chapter is about how Miharu's vampiric rose ties Moi and other members of the household together.
Yeah, for once, magic bullshit being there just to be funny, coming from Miharu instead of from Nico.
For once, and it switches around and it ties Miharu and Jekyll together. And I'm a little sad that it's trying to subvert our expectations.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because at first it suggests that's going to be Nico and Moi together.
Yes, and that's so nice.
It is.
Look at this nice page of them, of her imagining how it would be.
Yeah.
And that's all we get, because then it switches to tying Moi and Keigo together.
And everything that Nico imagines happens with Keigo. He gets it instead.
It gets more and more outrageous when they get tied together on their backs. There's a really bizarre scene where they're in the supermarket and an old guy comes up and is like, diversity's good. What's up with that? I mean, I can kind of divine
he's misinterpreted their relationship.
He
thought they're holding hands. He's like, I'm going to show that I'm a modern man. I could appreciate this.
This feels like it's a dig against YouTube videos where people in Japan go like, let's see what Japanese old people say about LGBTQ. And then they ask random dudes, and most of them are like, no, that's okay. I'm fine with this. We are in a modern world, and we don't have to be so anal about things that pertain to this kind of stuff. And then sometimes they get one of them who's like, nah, I wouldn't want one of my grandkids to be LGBTQ. But this guy is preemptively coming out as like, one chance to show that I'm not one of those old guys who don't like it. And I don't know if it's making fun of those kind of old guys or of YouTube videos that try to do that, or if it's really making fun of LGBT.
I don't know. Let's say it's making fun of those YouTube videos, because I feel like the author of this is very conscious of what happens on YouTube.
So many chapters have been about YouTube, so he does watch YouTube.
Obviously.
Yeah. At the very least, the final punchline of the chapter is that the traditional Fujoshi bait is true again. I kind of, if only that was what the whole chapter was all about.
Right.
Make a traditional chapter where the characters are tied together and they have to be like, oh no, this looks like we're kind of dating, and we kind of actually are, but we can't be too open about it.
Yeah.
Because Miharu and Jekyll
they meet in secret.
Kind of dating.
Yeah.
He's sucking him dry every day on a regular basis.
Dating. I just meet this guy in secret after school where he sucks me dry.
He is so invested in our relationship that he wanted to meet my family.
Yeah, that's right. He came to my house. Hung out with all those monsters. Yeah.
That's what I wanted. Anyways,
it was a funny chapter.
It was fine. I gave it 62 points. It subverted my expectations too much.
Oh no.
Ryan Johnson showed me how he pours a glass of wine and then he poured it next to the glass, and that was I knew what he was doing, but I wanted him just to pour the wine. Just do the thing.
Do the thing.
Next up is PPPPPP.
Did anything happen in PPPPPP?
You would be surprised if you read PPPPPP to know what's happening in PPPPPP. But first of all, we have to look at the popularity survey poll where they figured out that Miming is the most popular character.
Really?
And the main character is, as always, only second place.
Yeah, well, that's expected.
Mysteriously, Dada Sensei gets in the top 10, but only with 79 points. So. I didn't even notice 6 people voted Monkey D. Luffy as.
Wow, what does he play?
They just voted for him.
So odd. So what does happen in this chapter that was so surprising to you?
It's not really surprising. It's just very enigmatic and cryptic because this chapter, you can see here basically what's happening, but it's hard to tell. A flashback reveals that while Gakuon Otogami was playing piano one time, toddler Lucky touched the pendant that contains his wedding ring. Because he's not wearing it, he just puts it in there. And somehow that touching the pendant made a connection to Brilliant Lucky, who found the conviction to survive and re-emerge in order to see Gakuon's fantasy one more time. Because on this page, you can see that he, while Gakuon was playing, he was also seeing some kind of fantasy.
Yeah.
And this is revealed to us by Sodachika coming late at the later point, still a child, but coming to him as like, hey, do you know about Brilliant Lucky? He told me about that he feels like dying, but now he feels like he's not dying and he wants to survive, and that he wants to see the fantasy again. And that was while he was touching the pendant, and Gakuon goes like, okay, you can have this pendant then. And then back in the present, Gakuon meets Lucky at the cemetery. But while he's walking to the cemetery, this page happens. And this is just pure nonsense.
It's like mural art.
It's just all of the assets that he had lying around.
This is the mural that you would paint on the side of a building that has both a bicycle shop and a music store in it.
Right. These are things that connect to Gakuon's past, but
is it part of the fantasy that Brilliant Lucky saw when he touched the pendant?
I don't think so, but either way, it's supposed to, I think, show Gakuon's, the dad's, he's the father, right? You remember when I said Gakuon?
The dad.
I think that's just showing his mental state where he only thinks about the past and things that interest him, which is 1, piano, and specifically the keyboard he was always carrying around,
Right.
to his wife, but only when she was young and not leaving him because he was being an asshole. And 3, being on a bicycle that she rides with him.
Okay.
That's pretty much everything that his mind seems to be revolving around.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he's extremely autistic.
Yeah.
And nothing else seems to be going on with this guy. Just piano, wife when she was not mad at me. That's it. So I gave this chapter 40 points because it was completely, it's almost indecipherable if you're not deeply into the story, know what everybody's about, and also pay a lot of attention to the fine details of what is happening.
Yeah,
like
the
Lucky
fantasies and inner thoughts of these characters. Yeah.
Nobody explains to you that what the pendant is. You have to pay close attention. That you see Gakong taking his ring, putting it into the pendant, and later on when I think wife dies, he puts the other ring inside there too. Or maybe she left it. Either way, it contains both rings. So now Sorachika has both rings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the significance of that is. And why Brilliant Lucky why some connection.
Activate him.
Why does I don't know, but apparently
Yeah. It's just a connection to Lucky's childhood, I guess, when he was watching his dad play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like look at this page and be like, oh, this is what PPPPPP is all about.
Yeah,
I don't want to read this.
It's about chaos.
A lot of people in the comments are always like Pikachu, but this is I would say this is how somebody is tricking you into thinking it's deeper than it actually is.
Wow. Harsh words.
By the way, I tricked myself into missing that we were supposed to talk about Ginka and glüna. Because I didn't include any screenshots because there was nothing to talk about in this chapter. It was just okay.
Chapter 17, the guildmaster. Yeah.
The guildmaster just shows herself and asks Ginka to defeat her 10 disciples who all hold his body parts.
Yes,
which is he was going to do that anyway.
Yeah, and also, does this include Karula with all the pieces of Ginka that he has? Because he had like a bunch of bottles, and it was like, oh, these are all pieces of Ginka, and he's got Minigin now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, also, she just gives them a new party member. She's like, here, have Locke. He's gonna join you now.
We didn't have enough male characters, so we need one more.
I know, it's too many.
Maybe they get rid of an Anemone because she realizes she's useless.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
She might stay behind together with what's her name?
I was so hopeful.
Beretta.
Yeah. I was so hopeful when we were introduced to Beretta. You're like, oh, we've got a main trio now. And then they're just like, no, we're just going to keep throwing characters at you. And they may or may not do anything.
This could be the work of the enemy stand of the editor.
Could be. Yeah. Anyway. Did you give it a number?
Did I say?
What are we going to talk about?
Ginka and glüna gets 50 points, and PPPPP gets 40 points.
Yeah. Ginka and glüna is still running, and that's about all we can say for it this week. Next up, is final manga?
Yeah, final one is
final chapter.
Tokyo Demon Bride story.
Tokyo Demon Bride chapter.
So the girls want to go to the public bath and then eat ramen, but the ramen place was a trap set by some evil yokai who tranquilized everybody with his ramen except Keroru.
Right. What's up with Jump these days and having enemies show up in ramen shops?
They just realized ramen evil.
Ramen good.
No. Jump proves that I'm correct.
I'll be your enemy in the ramen shop.
The perfect.
No, actually, it's you'll be safe because you'll be like, no, I don't want ramen. And I'll be like, I want ramen. I'll go in, and then I'll meet my enemy in there.
See, because the perfect fast food is hamburgers, and if you all fall for the allure of ramen, then you're all.
Do people
suckers.
consider ramen fast food? It's not like you could take it out with you.
Ramen is definitely fast food. You're supposed to like slurp it up.
I guess I classify it differently with hamburgers, which are like carry out food, because anything where you're still expected to like sit down with a big bowl of something, I'm like, it's not quite.
Fast food is probably classified by how quickly it can be prepared and how quickly you can eat it.
Okay.
And ramen, they pour it into your bowl and you slurp it up at the same speed. You don't have to take it out, but that's how they make it. And burger is superior because you can take them with you.
The debate goes on.
I think the debate is settled.
No, it goes on. We'll have to see if anybody attacks you in a burger shop.
Ha! You wish. I'm going to be the one who attacks you in order to get more burger. But
sometimes they have like these really creepy statues inside the burger shop. Like if they come alive and become the enemy, that'd be scary.
Statues? Like Ronald McDonald statues?
Yeah. No, the king is worse. There's usually not statues of him though.
The king is I've never seen the king statue. I've seen Ronald McDonald statues. I've seen Colonel Sanders statues.
Yeah.
Those are always fun to take photos with because you can do stuff.
Oh no, don't do stuff to them. What kind of stuff
for the photo? Doing? Just for the photo. Like you can sit on Ronald McDonald's lap and be
yeah, that's fine. Just hanging.
And they always dress up the Colonel Sanders statue
and stuff. Yeah, it's great.
See, that's fun stuff. Can you do fun stuff in a ramen place? I think not. When you go into the ramen place and they get mad at you because you didn't drink the salty broth at the end.
It's the best part.
Look
at this gross ramen man.
What was the point of having the sob story and making the ramen place about like, oh, this is the couple that makes the ramen? And
yeah, I think that's probably his actual backstory. He's a ramen yokai and he and his wife made ramen and his wife died. So now he's gonna kill any others who fight yokai.
It seems like pointless decoration just for the trap to seem more legit.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really much to it. It's just they go into a weird ramen shop and the shopkeeper wants to fight them. The thing that I thought was kind of weird is when they talk about the symbol that people who fight yokai use.
I glossed completely over that.
Yeah. It doesn't, like, nothing comes of it.
Kuroda is just foreshadowing look at for later.
Symbol. Yeah.
When the series is over and nothing came of it.
That's right. Yeah. So I did not have much thoughts for this chapter.
Yeah, 10 points, very bad. Please end. I don't need it. This is not what I wanted. It continues to be not what I wanted, and whatever.
Put something else in. Finally, what's this? A one shot?
That's a one shot by the author of what's it called? Toriko, and also Build King, which was bad. And seeing this,
I did not read any of Build King
main
at
character.
all.
Build King was really bad. Build King.
Yeah.
I mean, Build King had a few things that I would say were interesting, and it was a better opportunity for his sense of humor. But at the same time, I think his visual style is so detestable.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And like his design sense. If this is the main character of the one shot.
His earrings remind me of someone else. Someone from Hunter x Hunter has earrings like that.
Probably.
Yeah.
But like, who looks at this and goes, "This is cool. I want to read it."
I don't know.
Dude with jewelry and twin tails in a weirdly mystic way. I don't. and it's called Luck, by the way.
Oh.
What's the deal with authors always choosing the worst kind of title that already exists in the magazine?
Huh.
We have Undead Unluck.
Yeah.
Why would you call it Luck? Same with Ayashimon coming out when Ayakashi Triangle is already out. Same with Dororon coming out when
that's right. When Dandadan is
Dandadan is. Why would you do that?
Good question.
All in all, this issue of Shonen Jump, it averaged out for me at 52 points. This was really bad. This is not a good way to start our new year, and maybe this is part of my horoscope being bad.
Unfortunate.
I'm very unlucky this year when Jump is already bad.
Another issue is coming out so soon because we took so long to be able to record this.
Wait, when do you think the next issue is coming out?
This weekend, isn't it?
No.
2 weekends from now?
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm gonna lose my pants like Bondo.
Here, I'll tell you when the next thing is coming out. One second. It's
what day is
on,
I'll put it on my
calendar. January 22nd.
Wow. Yeah, that is a while from now. Gosh. Yeah. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Anything else to say before
my misfortune is only just beginning.
Oh no!